It's almost a shame I have to go to work. Good morning, Internet people. It is 4:26 a.m. Cannonball is less than 3 weeks away. This is my third attempt at filming a video, and I guess we're going to see what the low light capabilities of this camera are. So I apologize for the darkness, but this is the only time I have to ride. I have to be at work in a couple hours, and we are not on our way to work. We're doing shenanigans before work. So I said I filmed this twice already. So the first time, Saturday morning, rode 130 miles. I was testing fuel mileage. Got 95 and change miles per gallon, going from 1,400 feet in elevation to a little over 7,000 feet in elevation in 44 miles. So I'm going to go with 90. 90 is my target for fuel mileage. Problems with that one was that the image stabilization on my camera was super jerky, and the mount kept turning, so it would go doo. So we should be good to go, I hope. So it's completely unusable. I also did a couple tweaks on the bike. Yesterday I did almost 200 miles, went from my house to Dana Point, California and back. Ortega Highway, all that good stuff. I said incredibly profound things over the 6 hours or so I was out. And I had turned image stabilization off, enhanced immobilization off, because I thought, well, it's so jerky with it on, how bad can it be with it off? And it is terrible. So that footage is essentially useless. So I went home, watched the footage, said, oh, this is terrible, can't do this. I had a spare camera that I bought as a backup for the Cannonball in case my primary camera took a dump. And that camera is the one we're using now. I hope that the footage here is better, even though it's really dark. But we can test my aux lights, so this is what it's like with them on, and that's what it's like with it off. On, off, on. So as you can see, even on the camera, which is not going to do a very good job, it makes a huge difference. And that's important to me because I plan on leaving by no later than 5 a.m. every day on this Cannonball. I might have mentioned a Cannonball once or twice. So we're going to go up. We're going to test the bike again one more time. We'll go over all the modifications once the sun comes up. And then end the video. So the other thing that I learned over the last couple of days is that I've lost 45 pounds. I didn't learn that. I lost 45 pounds, and it's going to be foggy. That's even more fantastic. So I've lost 45 pounds since April. It is now June 2nd. What did I say? April? I'm in February. So I've lost 45 pounds since February. And when I weighed 45 pounds more, I was in the 230s. I had absolutely no problems with my Corbin seat. Loved it. 400 miles, 500 miles. I came off fresh as a daisy. Now, weighing 45 pounds less, which you'd think would be better, it's actually worse. I'm developing saddle sores and general unpleasantness. So we're going to see how my butt does on this. I put an air hawk on the seat this morning or yesterday when I got home. And we're going to see if my butt survives. Because if anything is going to hurt me on this Cannonball, it's going to be my rear end packing up. I guess we're also going to test some cold weather gear And you say, okay, how are you going to test cold weather gear in June? Well, it's in the mid 50s at my house when I left, and we're going up to, again, well, we'll see how much time I have if I run out of time. But the idea is to go up to higher elevations. So we're going to go probably 6,500, 7,000 feet. Again, I'm not worried about fuel mileage or anything. I'm not wearing my backpack. I'm not in full gear. I mean, I'm not fully loaded down. I'm not carrying my full 4 gallons of fuel that I'm usually carrying. I'm not carrying my backpack with 100 liters. 100 liters. It is early, folks. It is 4:30. I'm not carrying my backpack with all the tools that I'm going to be taking with me, and my 100 ounces of water, Camelback type thing. So it's not about any of that. This is about testing my butt, testing how cold it is, how I feel. It shouldn't feel any colder than this. Even when we're in McCall, Idaho, it does get into the 40s, low 40s at night there in the winter or in the summer. But we should be in the 40s here shortly, because it was about 54 when I left my house at 5,000 feet, and we're going up a little bit. My watch, you can't tell this, but I feel like I need to acknowledge it. The alarm is going off on my wrist because it is time to wake up. And since I'm wearing super heavy, thick climb winter gloves, which you can't see because it's dark, and I don't feel like stopping to turn off my alarm, my wrist is going to buzz until I stop in another 45 minutes or so. So, minor annoyance, just another distraction. So enjoy not being able to see anything, and we'll check in again when the sun comes up. And we're back. It is now 5:21 a.m. I don't know what the temperature is, but it's pretty chilly. Cold weather gear is doing what it's supposed to do. I am warm enough, except for my fingertips. My fingertips are a little cold, but I don't have heated grips. It's the one thing I don't have, and I don't think I'm going to need them. I've got room on my power distribution block to add them, but I really don't think it's going to be that cold that long to do that. And those are the highest amperage thing that you can add to a bike. The headlights, the extra lights, the GPS, the phone, none of that's over 5 amps. My power distribution module, it's a Row, it's a PDM60, as the name suggests, has a 60 amp limit, but this is a little baby bike, and I don't even know what the electrical system can handle. So we'll stick with what we got. I can deal with some cold fingertips. I want to say it's 42, 43 maybe. So that's a little chilly. But it's definitely, I know this says 58 or 56, but we're not where it says. I don't know why that says that. If you can even read it from the camera. Well, when we stop, maybe it'll update and it'll tell me what the temperature is. I have the sniffles because it's cold and my nose is running. I will try to keep that to a minimum during these talks. So now it's daytime. Let's talk about everything. Oh, that was a bump. Let's talk about everything that I talked about in the last 2 videos that you're not going to see because those videos are garbage. Bike is essentially done. I think we're dialed in where we need to be. The clutch has been an issue ever since my shenanigans off-road on that Jeep trail in the dark that I didn't take video of because I turned the video off before I got to it. That was a big mistake. Both turning the video off and taking that Jeep trail to get home. So I did not have any confidence in the clutch, and I was going to change the clutch weights myself, the one-way centrifugal clutch. But I waited too long. The bike was buried in the garage all winter under holiday decorations and procrastination. I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to have somebody else do it. So I already had the Goldwing going to the dealer for 2 recalls, and I was going to have them put new tires on because I didn't feel like dealing with that, and change the coolant and the air filter and the spark plugs and check the timing, check the valves, because I don't have time to do that right now because I'm a terrible YouTuber, as I mentioned in my last video, or at least what I titled my last video. And I don't want to deal with the plastics on that bike. Do your own maintenance, whatever, but there's so much plastic on that bike, I'll never get it back together right. And even if I did, it'd be pieces in the garage for months, and that's kind of how my projects go. So I didn't want to do it. So I was taking the Goldwing to the shop, to the dealer. And since I already had an appointment there for that, I asked him, hey, I've got this trail, and I've got the Scooter Cannonball coming, and I need clutch work. Can you fit me in, you know, even if we gotta postpone the Goldwing work and just fit this in instead? And they fit me in, but there was a miscommunication on both sides. And when I showed up to pick the bike up, the bike was ready on a Tuesday. I couldn't pick it up until Friday because I worked far away. So I picked the bike. I went to go pick the bike up on Friday. Ooh, what are these little boxes? I think. Big Bear Lake, folks. Big Bear Lake. It's sunrise. It's pretty. Anyway, so I went to pick the bike up on Friday, and they had a clutch pack, you know, all the individual clutch discs sitting in a baggie on the back on the rack of the bike. And I was like, those didn't come out of that bike. I said, oh yeah, they did. Like, okay. So we went over the diagrams, the part breakouts or whatever on the, like, that's not what I needed. What I needed were the clutch weights, because it slips sometimes, and I told them what happened, and they, oh, okay, so let's look at, see if we can get parts. We don't even know if we get parts because of the tariffs and importing things. A lot of stuff's on hold and trying to figure out everything. So they went on the computer and they found some clutch weights in the Midwest somewhere. I can't remember if it was Iowa or Indiana or somewhere. But it would take about a week to get them, and this is Friday. So we hoped that they would come in by the next Friday, pick them up on the following Saturday, because the following Saturday was Memorial Day weekend. Okay, let's do it and see what happens. So I don't know if they got the parts that Friday or the Saturday, but the bike wasn't ready until after Memorial Day weekend. I'm not faulting the shop. It's miscommunication, and they get the parts when they get the parts. So I planned on doing test runs that whole weekend, but I couldn't because I didn't have the bike. So Memorial Day weekend was not this past weekend, but the weekend before. That's why this past weekend I did all these rides where the video was garbage, and you'll never see the footage. So, but we have fresh clutch weights, we have fresh clutch pack. We are good to go there. The van, so I bought a van. Her name is Pearl. Bought a van, I don't know, last September, specifically for this. It had to be a high roof that I could stand up in, but more importantly, this height. This bike doesn't look very tall. I mean, it might look tall in the video. It's not a tall bike, but standard height vans, it's close getting it in. Plus, loading the bike into a van when you got to duck down is a pain. and it's not something I wanted to deal with at 6'2". Maybe if I was like 4'6" or something, that would be different. Anyway, so I bought a Nissan NV2500, and her name is Pearl. She has new tires, so I put new tires on. I put a new windshield in. I added a backup camera. I didn't put the windshield in. The shop put the windshield in. The shop put the backup camera in too. Same shop. It was a window and backup camera shop, which is a unusual combination, but that's what happened. And on the way home from that, the air conditioner stopped working. Like, okay, what is it? Something's not working. Didn't think it was a leak in the system because it was working great before then. So I drop it off at the shop, local shop to me. So my air conditioner doesn't work. I got this thing, I'm going to Texas. It's going to be 100-something degrees. I need air conditioning. So they call me. This was another, same Friday that I don't know. I was going to a lot of shops. So I think I was picking up the Goldwing on a Friday, or dropping off the Goldwing on a Friday. I'm going to go to the shop for the van in the same day because my life is busier than normal for me. So I pick up, or I drop off the van. A couple days later, I call up saying, "What's up with the van?" "Oh, the AC compressor seized." Okay, so that's another expense. But we got the air compressor, the AC condenser or compressor or whatever it is, I don't even know. That is fixed, so we have air conditioning again, which is nice. My wife will appreciate that. She's driving a sport van. I didn't have a lot of time, so my dad put in the 3/4 inch plywood. We put 3/4 plywood in the floor in the back, and I mounted E-tracks to it and on the walls to carry this and my teammate's bike. So my bike, I'm driving the van with Booger in the back of the van to Seaside. I'm not riding this up there. It's too far. It's 900 and something miles, and I don't want to wear myself out before this Cannonball. So I'm riding the bike up to Seaside. I just said I'm not doing that. I'm taking the van with this in it to Seaside. Then my wife is going to fly out or fly up to Seaside, and then she's going to drive the van from Seaside to Texas. She's going to fly home from Texas, and me and my teammate are going to ride back or drive back to California with our bikes in the back of the van. We didn't want to do a trailer. Well, I wanted to do a trailer initially, but trailers are a pain, especially on roads you don't know, and the Subaru's not that good at towing. I have a hitch in my garage, but I haven't installed it yet. You got to take the whole back end of the Subaru off. It's a pain. I hate plastic. So the original idea was to take a trailer, but we opted not to do a trailer. We got the van, so we're good there. The van is almost 100% done. I'm waiting on a couple E-track mounts still. I went to Buchanan's, which is in, I think, Azusa, wherever. Buchanan's is a well-known spoke place and wheel place. They're about 20 minutes from where I work, so I dropped off my bent rim to them so they could fix that. They fixed that. That one's actually on the rear of this bike right now. So I have a spare set of wheels. I do not have tubeless wheels. I have tubeless tires, but I don't have tubeless wheels. I'm running tubes in the tubeless tires. I couldn't see spending the amount of money that tubeless wheels cost for this event, just for this event, because I'm already so far, I spent so much money on this event, it's crazy. So we're running tubes. Hopefully that's not my downfall. I actually pinched, I've never pinched a tube in my life until Memorial Day weekend, when I'm taking off the original wheels, or I didn't even have tires on the wheels. They had no wheels on, or no tires on them. I can't speak this morning. So there were no tires on the wheels. I just needed to mount tubes and tires. The front went on okay. It's been a while since I've changed a tire, so it took about half an hour to mount the tire on the wheel, the first one. The second one only took me 16 minutes, but I pinched the tube, so that slowed me down. And then I pinched another tube because I was frustrated and trying to be in a hurry. So now I pinched 2 tubes. I ordered 6 more tubes. I already have some tubes, but I ordered 6 more because I don't know if I got to change tubes or something, and I don't want to deal with running out of tubes. So I've got a ton of tubes. I don't want to have to do anything with it. I don't want to have a flat tire. I want to avoid having flat tires. So that sort of thing isn't a problem. I've got a spare, so I'm running and we'll go over this in a minute when I stop, but I had a 13-tooth front sprocket on it, but I was going to change the sprocket like midway through. So I was going to run 13 till we get on the other side of the mountains, and then I was going to run a 14 or a 15 when we get out of the mountains, because it's pretty much all downhill to the Gulf Coast. But I'm slow when it comes to maintenance and things, and taking that primary cover off, it's a little bit of a pain. I got to take the shifter off, because where I have the shifter set for my giant feet, you can't take that cover off. So to do all that, and then you got to loosen the wheel and loosen the chain and all that stuff, it takes time, and I'm going to be tired and not wanting to do it, riding every second of the day. So we're just going to stick with the 14 tooth. I reserve the right to change that. I have bringing a 13 and a 15 and another 14 with me, just in case. But we're running a regular 14 tooth sprocket in the front. In the rear, I am currently running a 39, so it's 1 tooth bigger than the 38, which helps a little bit, but it doesn't lose a whole lot of top end speed. So that's what we're going with. I do have an additional final drive hub assembly with the 38 tooth mounted, so when I change tires halfway through, when we get to the other side of the mountains, before we get to Texas, I plan on changing tires. But I plan on changing to the 38 tooth at the same time, because I already got the wheel off. It's just pull one off, or put it on and you're done. Let's see if we can find a spot to pull over. This is a good spot. It's not exactly, it's a little dangerous to get across the corner here, but okay. Let's get in the dirt, because we're dirty boys. This is good. Okay. Well, ain't that a view? It's almost a shame I have to go to work. Hey, let's talk about the bike. Take off these are my gloves. Keep my fingers pretty warm. I'm wearing liners too. But the temperature is cold. So let's talk about the bike. We'll go front to back. So those are the new tires. Those are Michelin City Extras. They've got almost 400 miles on them already. They look pretty good. I think they'll be good for the trip. With tubes, the rack, or the basket, I talked about that before. I don't remember what that was. It's from Japan. I think I got it from WeBike. These are my auxiliary lights from Amazon. They came with a switch, and you could connect it directly to the harness, but I cut that off and put a new wired my own switch. The nav tower, it's a nice CNC. You can't really see. Let's go on this side. You can see better. So this is the nice CNC nav tower. There's a Puig airfoil thing, the bark busters, which have been used, you can tell. Double take adventure mirrors, Atlas throttle lock, different grips, nobody cares about those. Rocks risers. We've got some mounting things. We've got a quad lock wireless charger. We'll get to this in a second. It's the DMD thing, DMD T865, and the remote. So the thing is with this remote, I like the remote because you can do things, and we'll go through that functionality in a second. But where they have the turn signal, the turn signal switch should be here, and the horn should be here. That's how it is on most bikes. But because it's here, and I already have this space as far as I could space it, it's hard to get my finger in to make right turns. So I have to go underneath and pull it this way. Not ideal. If I had more time, I would potentially try to swap this out for something else. But that's okay. That's the only real annoyance that I can't get rid of. Center rack that will probably just hold extra water. I've upgraded my highway pegs. They don't fit. I made them fit. Those are just off Amazon. Here's breakaway brake and shifters from Japan. I already bent one brake. I showed a video about that. These are the JDM rally pegs. I like them a lot. Give you extra leg room. Corbin seat. The previously mentioned Airhawk. Hopefully this saves my butt because I'm going to need it. Wireless wind backrest. Is that it? Oh, and my 2x4 with some screws in it and some bookshelf brackets to hold the gas cans in place. So I passed tech at the Cannonball. And I think that's it. That's the bike in its Cannonball form. So let's go briefly over. Oh, I forgot the USB. So we have a USB down here. You can't really see it. That's where a normal one goes. And then we have another USB here that's got 3 USB ports, 2 USB A and 1 USB C with a voltmeter. I was going to move the ignition from there to here, but it won't clear. The key's too big. So where this is sitting, where the cradle's sitting, and where this hole is, the key won't turn, so it's not even worth trying. So let's go over real quick. If you can see that, hopefully that's in the camera. So this is the screen. This is not the main screen I'm going to be using, but I have it set up so with the remote, so it's 46 here. I thought it was colder. It's 46. So you can toggle. I didn't reset this either. You can toggle the right side. You can toggle the left side. You can change different things here. This is how I have it set up. My Fobo TPMS doesn't want to work. It stopped working a couple weeks ago. I did order. I've been waiting for them to be in stock in the US, but again, because of tariffs, they haven't been. So I ordered directly from Portugal the DMD branded TPMS sensors, but they shipped me something else accidentally. So I'm hoping they can get me the right thing before the Cannonball. So here we are. So when we're driving down the road, if we want to change screens, we just go in here, change screens. Now this is the main mode, so I can change this to satellite view. Takes a minute. So we're coming up on a waypoint. I can see roughly what the waypoint is, and I can also do weather. There's no weather right now, so you don't see. And then I could change it from regular to dark mode. You could change a lot of these things, but we're at 7,146 feet. The other thing with this is that it blocks. I can't see anything really down here. I can almost see the speedometer, but I can see the trip meter, but when I'm riding I can't see anything, particularly the fuel gauge. And you'd think that'd be a problem, but it's not, because I have incredible range anxiety, so I don't have an electric motorcycle because they have terrible range and you can't charge them anywhere. And I want to be carrying this much gas. So if I get gas once a day, I should have enough gas and I don't need to worry about what my fuel gauge says. Now, could I run out of gas? Probably. I've done it before. But I'll have all this fuel, and if I fuel up, 150 to 200 miles into the every day, I should be plenty good. And then I don't have to stop at gas stations and do all that kind of stuff. Because gas stations slow me down so much. So I'm going to put my giant gloves back on, and we are going to head home because I have to go to work. Because I have to pay for this Cannonball and everything else. Let's see, giant gloves. So all the major annoyances have been removed. The only minor annoyance left is the switch gear for the turn signal, where there's nothing I can do about that. And questioning whether my butt's going to fall off during this thing because I lost all the fat in my butt. I suppose that would be an excuse to eat like 10 pizzas a day and gain 45 pounds in the next 3 weeks, but the whole point of losing the weight, the only reason I lost weight, was because I wanted to carry 4 gallons of fuel. 4 gallons of fuel is 27 pounds, 27.4 pounds with the gas cans. And I wanted to carry a backpack with 100 ounces of water, as I mentioned, I think earlier this morning. So I know what the bike can do with just me on it, and that's okay. That's acceptable. I know I'm intimately familiar with the performance of this bike, but with all that extra payload, I wanted to try to keep it as close as possible. And actually, I've lost more weight than I plan to carry, and I'm hoping to lose 4 or 5 more pounds. I was 188.2 this morning before I left the house. So that's about it. I might ride this to work this week when I get to go into the office, because I want to get a little bit more seat time in. But aside from that, I think we're dialed in, and my nose is running so bad. Sorry about that. So it's 5:49 a.m. I have to log into my computer for work at 7. Because if it was 6, I wouldn't make it. I gotta go home, walk the dog, and get ready for work. So I think it's 46 degrees, aside from my nose running, and I'm not sure why that is. My nose, whenever I'm filming, I always get the sniffles. So if it's 46 degrees in McCall, I don't think it'll be any colder than that. It might. Actually, with the sun coming up, it might be warmer now than it was. I didn't see what the temperature was this morning when it was still dark. But my fingers feel less cold. I'm wearing winter base layers, mid layers, and top layers. And my core is fine. I could do this all day. My fingers are a little cold, but that's okay too. Maybe I'll get some hot hands. Might be worth it. So that's the Cannonball. We are ready to go. Now we just have to get to the start, and then get to the finish, and then get home. Oh, and also I hope that this camera footage is actually usable and that you can hear me through the microphone. Because after all my audio issues, I ended up running an external mic recording 32-bit float. But that's too much work for the Cannonball. The purpose of the Cannonball is not to make a YouTube video. The purpose of the Cannonball is to finish the Cannonball. It's a bucket list thing. Which is why I'm using a different camera. So this camera that I'm using is an Innov H5, and I'm running on an external battery pack, and I can run it 24 hours straight. I've tested it, at least at my desk. I've tested it 24 hours straight, recording, no problem on the 512 card, doesn't overheat in 4K, and it stays waterproof. It stays waterproof even when you're doing external charging, which is important. The GoPros don't do that, DJI doesn't do that, nobody else does that, even though the image quality is somewhat lower. But I'm recording audio in camera. So, I say so many times. I just hope that the audio is usable and the video is usable. Because I'm out of options at this point. I got a spoon on a couple more tires. I have one extra. I might buy another extra. But I think I should be good with the one extra. Although if I don't have two extra and then something happens, I'm trying to think of all the ways that I cannot finish. I've got spark plugs, I've got zip ties, gaffer tape, electrical tape, Gorilla tape so we can tape things back together. I've got spare bolts, spare fuses, spare electrical 18 gauge wire. I've got tools. I'm bringing every tool I can think of, from feeler gauges and valve adjustment tools to wrenches, sockets, impact wrench, spoons, obviously, extra oil. I'm bringing, I think, 4 or 5 quarts. I'm running 10W50 because I'm anticipating some very high temperatures and we're going to be running all day. Haven't used a drop of oil, running, wide open this whole time. This bike, his entire life, Booger's been wide open, so this is not going to be anything new for him. But it's not using any oil. I'm bringing spare battery terminal bolts because I've lost a battery terminal bolt before, and if you drop that and it's gone forever, then you don't have a battery. You can't do anything, so that'll put you down. So I got a whole mess of those. I just can't think of anything else I got an extra battery. It's got a brand new battery in it, and I have an extra backup battery. I think I got it covered. I do think. So 3 weeks from yesterday is the start. So we're down to the last 3 weeks. I leave in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from Wednesday. Today's Monday. I leave on Wednesday. 2 weeks from Wednesday. Not much time left. Well, it's 6 o'clock. I got another half an hour to get back to my house. Could walk the puppy. So I think I'm going to end it here. Butt's feeling a lot better. Hopefully this air hawk does the trick. Because I'm out of options. Seems to be the theme. The theme of the Cannonball. Out of options. Hope everybody has a good day, good week, good month, good year. I'll check in with you again sometime. Hopefully it won't be a year from now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care.